Hi guys, JJ here. I'm here at my usual spot, not to do my edited slow motion videos, but I'm gonna give a little bit of a class on a topic that actually in my academy, by the way, I'm currently shooting some shots, therefore I have the t-shirt on. That's the reason. But in my academy, I noticed that people, when it comes to hand trolls, people just go with it, It just works out. It's something that's logic. It goes from stick to stick, rolls within the rope or the connector, due to it. It's gonna roll and go from positive grip to negative grip and the other way around. This works, okay? So when you do this classic figure eight hand troll, it just looks really well, even also with single nunchaku. When you do it in the frontal variation, you'll see that this can be very powerful. Yet, there's also such a thing as this. You might have seen that, and when, I remember when I saw it, I was like, but that's not exactly the same how I do it. And that's true. So if you have that feeling, stick with me because I'm going to try to explain what's the difference here. The difference, basically said in 10 seconds, is that you're going to reverse the directions. The difficulty about it is that it goes against what feels natural, or at least that's the feedback I get from the students from my academy, where I work one-on-one. So, this is for me obviously very valuable as a tutorial maker here as well. So while this one feels good, where I think, theoretically you do the easiest part first, going from front to back here, and then you go just with that sideward flow, to show it like this, or very frontal. You see, like this feels well. I will leave that loop to accelerate behind for a second, just to show this, like 1, 2, 1, 2. And it's also, most of the time you're gonna see this, so you're gonna learn this one. And then to actually switch it up to something that is very similar, because it is, that's not so easy, okay? Good. Also, why do you see that one the most? Because it's the easiest one, in general. So therefore, this is like a snowball effect, okay? My surroundings here. This is an open sports terrain, so, and often there are, dogs running free, which I have no problem with, but they often come sniffle to my pants for some reason. Yeah, there is one. Okay, good. So the reverse one. So it has things in common, that for sure, but it's the figure eight part that's the hardest. I'm going to try and explain the best way I can. So you start with actually a very simple thing. You go from positive grip to negative grip via a hand troll, and then you're here. This is like so easy, Just roll, catch. Roll, catch. Yeah, simply like this. Keep my eye on it. Like this, and then you come in this position, where you have negative grip and you feel like you're spinning here. Okay, we're gonna do something with this. Once we're here, we're actually gonna go to this side, because again, so this is the reverse figure eight hand troll. Okay, the frontal version, obviously. Good. So once we're here, we're gonna switch it to here, and this is where, again, as my students tell me, this is where the bottleneck lies. Okay, so you got to make that swing here. So that's what we're going to do right now. So you can feel that, like there's this momentum like going up, up, up. And for a figure eight, if you would just do it simply like this, you feel like this feels very natural, yet not the same if you would do it in a positive grip. Obviously, because this, or the downward side, which feels awkward for me, but this one, like upward, this feels very natural. But when you do it in a negative grip, you feel like it's a bit less natural. Okay, so this is the first hurdle you need to take, so after that first roll, you need to swish it, as I always say, to the left. So I would say, catch it, make one rotation, and the second time it's going up, you're gonna say, yes, you're going up, but on this side, okay? So 1, 3. You also see that I accelerate, because, you have to cross a certain distance, so this will help. So you also feel, especially when you would have a heavier nunchaku, so mine is 95 grams, as most of you know, but just to say, like the softest of ignite as you can get, so this helps me a lot for my finger tricks, which I like to do very fast, and this gives me that edge, so you have to make choices at one point. But with a heavier one, you will feel that more intense, that there is this momentum that gets created, a certain, like, and then you feel like when it goes up, you go here. Good. So we have a hand troll here, and then you make that switch. Now we're here. Okay, I'm gonna show it from the side. So now we're here. Now you need, at one point you need to do that hand troll back. This is not the hardest part, okay? So once you're here, the part that is hard on this side, is also not the coming back eventually, because then you're, after that hand roll, you're back in a positive grip, which is something that feels super common and familiar, so you can directly go back to this position. That's not a thing. The problem is when you're here and you switch to here, is to from this position on, so your negative grip, you're on the opposite side of that arm, you know, in this position, which feels even more awkward, and then you need to hand roll as well. Okay, so here is the time, or the most, like, this is the hardest part, where I feel you have to dive in. Okay, so this you will need to have under your belt. So roll and then say, okay, I will switch it to the left. And then at this point, you know, you just need to dare to, when you're here, make as fast as you can that hand roll. So when you're not aware of this, or when you will do this for the first time, you will see, or at least that's what I think that could happen, you know, is that you will stay in this, and then it gets harder. The longer you do this, you feel like, so now then, yeah, okay, but then you feel like the total momentum of this ongoing figure 8, reverse, upward, frontal hand roll is totally gone. Okay, so first this, and then you need to push yourself to go to here. Once you're here, you'll feel like, you know, this is something, I mean, you know, if you're looking to this video, you should be, when you handle nunchaku, this should be something, because of, you know, these kind of things you should feel comfortable with doing. Okay, so the steps, 1, 2, and then here, this is already wrong, so this is a bad example. Make sure you spin, and then you feel like, and then okay, you know, still it will never feel the same as this one, because this one somehow, for some reason, you get just like a great momentum vibe, you know. But again, all right, there's a train passing by. I hope you guys still hear me. I want to wrap this up. I don't want to make this too long. Basically said, 1, 2, 1, swooshes 2, and 3, and then once you're back in posture, you'll feel like this feels good. Okay, and then you're all right. So again, as you know, daily trainings, you can better train on the daily 10-15 minutes on this. This will be enough already for your arm. I would say also, you know, try it first with right. You don't necessarily need to have this with left, where I would say with a normal hand roll, left could be a good choice as well, you know, so you can do a doubles one, but also just in one direction. Yeah, you know, to start with, that's already a good start. So many tricks. Okay, I would say trade 10-15 minutes on the daily rather than these long sessions, unless your work-life balance will not allow it, you know, of course, it's good. But be like a pit bull sometimes. Nunchaku, as I say so much in my academy, so many times, it's not easy. The fact that you're here, that you want to learn this, it's for a reason, because you know it's difficult, but you know it looks good, okay? And while you can do this, it also would be cool if you could do this. So this, the upward, I use a lot to go do that pinky roll here. You see, I think that's really cool, and that's ideal to actually come from that reverse hand roll. Yeah, but also when you can do the normal one, you can also do what I call the 4-way hand roll, where you're actually gonna do them both. And you have a great, yeah, how should I call it? This is a great momentum trick, you know? Great feeling, great flowish trick. Given we're at flow tricks, hey, this is it. Okay, good. Good luck with this one. If you have questions, drop them down here in the comment zone, and then, yeah, we'll get back to you. All right, see you. Bye-bye.